Hi, thanks very much for clicking on the video link. This is an idle chat with colleague and PNW neighbor. If you know, you know. Michael. Hi, Michael. How are you?
I'm almost perfect. Thanks for the invitation. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this conversation goes.
Me too. I love these idle chats. We learn so much about each other. Excuse me. All right. So, Michael, first question. What is a moment from a totally normal day that has really stuck with you over the years?
For me, it's a peaceful lunchtime. I just live in the lap of luxury of having a long marriage and a really good spouse that I'm such terrific friends with. So we've carved out in our fairly long retirement now that opportunity at lunchtime that it's just our time, just private, quiet, read to one another, cook lunch together, do those kinds of things. So our normal day contains a really almost a quiet space where it's unusual in today's life that we can just connect as people.
Oh, I really like that. Good for
Mhm.
you. Good for your wife. Excellent. All right, Michael, next question. Do you, sir, have a hidden talent?
Well, I think I do. So, in the recesses of my mind, I'm a magician. I'm actually an amateur magician, and get to have a whale of a good time playing with that particular skill. And it's also a good one for me because my personality type is basically I'm an introvert, and so doing something overt like that forces me out of my comfort zone and in front of people to do things that I'm a little, sometimes a little apprehensive about.
That's all right.
Um,
What's one of your favorite magic tricks?
well, mostly they're what are called self-working tricks. So it's like suspending and filling bottles with water when the container is separated from the water, and you can make all kinds of metaphors around that for my training. This is where I use it mostly, is I use it as an adjunct to the training program. So I'll do a trick and then we'll interpret what the trick may mean in the context of the lesson. So it's things like that, color changing scarves where you magically get a scarf that's black and white, and implying in our world of mediation that people come into the mediations with black and white attitudes. And then the scarf magically changes into a multicolor scarf. You talk about the complexity of conflict resolution in life in general. It's kind of a nice deal. As a matter of fact, are you up for doing a magic trick?
Sure, I love magic.
Well, let's give it a try. So I'm going to try to see if I can predict a number, and you're going to do a little bit of math, and I'm going to tell you what the answer is at the end of the trick and see if I've got it right. And then we'll see if we can interpret it in the context of yours and my interest in mediation. So, okay. So what I'd like you to do is take a pad and paper, and we're going to do a little bit of math here. It's not too hard, and we'll see if we can have me predict what number you're going to end up with. So we're going to begin with a set of numbers from 1 to 9, and we need to randomize how you pick the numbers from that set. So what I'd like you to do is take a random number from the first three. So 1, 2, or 3. Pick one of those numbers as a random number,
Okay.
and now pick a second number to put beside that from the second set of three numbers, 4, 5, and 6. So pick one of those numbers and put it beside the first one.
Okay.
And then from the last three numbers, 7, 8, 9, pick one of those numbers at random and put it next to the other two digits.
Got it.
Okay, now off to the side, would you take that new three-digit number and reverse the order of the digits?
Okay.
Now, please take the bigger number from those last two three-digit numbers and
Mhm.
subtract the smaller number from the bigger number.
Okay, I've got it.
Okay, now you have a new three-digit number.
Hmm.
Please reverse the order of those digits and put it below the last number.
Okay,
Now add those two numbers together, and I'm going to predict what you got.
got it.
All right. Transforming your memory skills over the Zoom dilithium crystals. I'm focusing on, I'm making direct eye contact with you. I get it. I think the number you came up with is 1089.
You are spot on, my friend.
Yay!
Show my paper for proof.
All right. Good job.
Good job.
Whew, I'm
Cool.
glad that worked out. So,
All
well,
right.
how on earth would I use that in the real world in my case of helping the training programs on mediation. So it's kind of a fun trick because it's meant to always work out to that answer. So what you can do, and what I do anyway, is talk about how people come to mediations from all different starting places. And so I had you pick your own starting place by doing the random number selection and so forth. But everybody who comes into the mediation room has a different starting place. Yet when we're doing the kind of work that you and I like to do, we have a model of how to get people to start talking to one another, start figuring out what compromises might look like, what a joint future might be crafted that's better than their past has been. And they always end up at the same point, and we don't have to force it. We've got a mental model, a mediator model, whatever you want to call it, that helps people go through the calculations like we just did and end up at a desirable endpoint that we as mediators can typically predict as an agreement of some sort. Therefore, that demonstrates to new trainees the magic of mediation.
Yes. I have a follow-up question, Michael.
You bet.
Do you have a magician's moniker?
I don't. Maybe I should work on that. Marvelous Mike. Shall we start with that?
Perfect.
All
I
right.
like it very much. All right. Marvelous Mike. Next question. What is a purchase under $50 that has genuinely improved your life?
Well, for me, it's pretty easy to answer. So I had an uncle who was really talented craftsperson. He could make pretty much anything, and so I was always bugging him about the right kind of tools to use. And so he said, uh, "Please go to the store and buy a pair of needle nose pliers." It's just totally simple, everyday kind of thing, but it is permanently placed in my shop, in my vehicles, in my house, multiple versions of the same tool. And it is my go-to tool for solving all kinds of problems around the house. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. You're looking at a girl who carries a Craftsman multi-tool in her purse.
Yay.
Yeah,
Well,
I get it.
you would make in my old career, which is as a fish biologist, you'd make a good biologist because those tools go with us everywhere in the field.
How did we live without them ever? Uh, Michael, next question. What makes someone a really great house guest?
I think someone who makes a really great house guest is somebody who can come in and not feel they're a guest. They come in and they just sort of have this instinct for integrating as just part of the warp and weave and ebb and flow and the sort of the zeitgeist of the home environment that you have. So they're so comfortable inside themselves and so comfortable with other people. There's not a guest versus non-guest barrier there. It's just like you're part of the group right now.
There you go. And of course, it's on us, the host. My great grandmother used to always say, the secret to being a great hostess was to treat your guests like family and your family like guests. But I
Oh,
think if you treat
interesting.
your house guests like family, they reciprocate and become, a member of the household.
Very good definition. I'm going to take that one away and use it.
Yours, feel free.
Thank
Sir,
you.
uh, when you're online, you're queued up for something. Are you the person who talks to all the strangers in the queue, or are you the person who, headphones on, eyes straight forward? What's your comfort level?
Well, my comfort level is forced because I'm an introvert, but I force myself to talk to people. So, and I had problems doing that because I'm as an introvert, you're a little bit shy and bashful, and you don't want to be overbearing on other people. There's a lot of negative self-talk that goes along there, and I was able to overcome that to the extent I've been able to by reframing it. And so I'm reframing. I'm in a long queue. I'm bored. I've got other pressures on my time. All of those life things are happening. And so I reframed it with, I wonder what I can do now to entertain myself. And so I turn to the people around me and I think, well, let's have an entertaining conversation. If they reciprocate, away it goes. It takes a life of its own. If they don't reciprocate, respect that and move to the next person.
Perfect. There you go. And Michael, I will ask you the same question that I ask everybody on an idle chat, and that is, tell me a little bit something about what you appreciate most, love the most, find inspirational or motivation in the work that we do in the resolution industry.
I do, and I lean on new students when I'm teaching them, things about conflict resolution to look for a turning point in the conversations that we create when we're doing this kind of work. And it's also the thing I love to see the most. It's in the middle of the work, so it is not how you begin a process, and it's not how you end a process with an agreement. It's being present of mind and in the moment, so you can notice in the middle of the discussion that turning point when people quit complaining about the past and start trying to formulate and articulate what a better future might look like. That shift from past orientation to future orientation, I think, is a bit of magic. And the biggest point of advice I can give new mediators is you need to pay attention when you see that shift. So one of the cliches I teach them is in doing the kind of work that we do, you're a good mediator if you know how to recognize forward movement and act on it. Well, that shift from past orientation to future orientation is one of those moments.
Really is, isn't it? And Michael, if somebody wanted to reach out and learn a magic trick or learn more about mediation and being a neutral, what's the best way for them to find you?
Hey, I'm up for it. Reach out. I love these conversations in any form. I have a website, cooperationcompany.com. Put my name in front of that, and you've got my email address, mike@cooperationcompany.com. But I'm a huge fan of the old PBS radio show called Car Talk. So an even better way to get through to me and get me to respond is do what they always ask. Write your question on the back of a $20 bill and send it to me, and I'll answer you right away.
I would too. I would too. Michael, thank you so much for having an idle chat and sharing your magic trick with me. That was a whole lot of fun.
Yay. Well, thank you for your curiosity, and I hope our paths cross again in the future. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.